Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. The topic in this 10-minute moan is the sad news that within 6 weeks, ex-care home in Glasgow, in Carntyne in Glasgow, could be given permission to accommodate asylum seekers and illegal immigrants. Now, this story is about a care home in Carntyne, Edinburgh Road in Carntyne, which is a heavy residential area. And it changed ownership about 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. It closed down about 5 or 6 years ago when it was known as the Alexandra Court Care Home. And the current owners have put in an application to have it been accepted as a asylum hotel, where it will have about 60 odd rooms available for asylum seekers. If there's one per room, 60 odd asylum seekers. If there's more, then we'll have more. And my concerns, which I'm pretty sure will be the same as a lot of people, local residents, good people in Carntyne, is that this, as you can see from this map here, this complex is surrounded by residential properties. If you look at the three sides of it, there's shared borders with houses. And even in the front elevation, which is onto Edinburgh Road, if you cross that road, all you'll see as far as the eye can look is houses. And that's very similar to one I visited in Paisley last month, where the residents there were concerned. But unlike that one that had a primary school diagonally across the road from it, this one has two within under half a mile. And the two schools it's close to are Carntyne Primary, which is literally if you cross the road in Edinburgh Road North and then just walk through one street of houses, you're 3.3 of a mile, which is about 500 yards away from Carntyne Primary School. But the one that concerns me more, is because of where it is Hag Hill Park Primary School, which is right on Alexandra Park, which if you come out the ex-care home, turn left and head westbound, it's less than half a mile away. And you can imagine being an asylum seeker in those places, if you're not got much to do of a day, then quite a large park, which would be many in the East End of Glasgow, would be a place where you may spend some time. But this one is bordered by Hag Hill Park Primary School. And that really concerns me because it's only less than half a mile away, which is easy walking distance. And I just, keep my fingers crossed if this application gets accepted, then no harm comes to anybody that uses these primary schools. So the situation is that this care home, ex-care home, in January last year, there was an application to change the use of it and have it as a short-term rental agreement type place. And the local residents kicked up a fuss, as you can imagine, because they were scared of, and if nobody would answer, who would be the end users of this, and could it be homeless people with issues? Could it be people coming out the local prison? Carntyne's not far from the Barlinnie prison in Glasgow. And that was eventually knocked in the head. However, since April, May this last year, it's had an application in which it needs because of the type of thing it'll need, but it's not from Glasgow City Council. They have already declared that there's no legal reason that it cannot be used for the suggested purpose. But there's another type of planning, I believe it's because it's a care situation, it's a tick box exercise that should be discussed and granted or denied by third week in April, which is only 6 weeks away. So within 6 weeks, this building could be given permission to house and home asylum seekers, and then it would just be down to how quickly we can get builders in and rectify it, for purpose. But it has been secured since it closed. It's got the bars up the window and things like that. So that would be taken down. I would imagine there'll not be much in the building itself that need maybe put some small kitchen in. I don't know, but there might be a few weeks worth of building required just to get it to the standard that would need to be to accept immigrants and asylum seekers. So that's where we are, and it'll be a worry. And if anybody, by the way, in the local community who are planning to start any campaigns against this, then please get a hold of me. I'm more than happy to allow you to use my platform. I'll jump in the car, come out to the care home, meet you there, and let you see your piece to camera. That's not a problem. It's something that I feel is underutilised in my platform, and I'm more than happy to do it whenever required. So if anybody is planning to oppose this and want me to help platform it, then no problem whatsoever. The best way to get a hold of me is go into X, Twitter, and just send me a direct message, and I'll come out and visit you and do a wee 10-minute podcast on it. It's not a problem, or half an hour, whatever you want, whatever you need, because I just think this is dangerous because of where it is. If it was a few miles up the road at Queensland Industrial Estate, unfortunately, the way the country is just now, we need to house these people somewhere until we can solve the problem of them coming here in the first place. So the problem we have is we have loads in the country and they're still coming in on a daily basis, hundreds of them. So they need to go somewhere. And until our governments can find a suitable and better system that puts people off coming here in the first place, then we need to deal with them. And if you rented a warehouse in Queensland, put some bunk beds in it and a toilet, some kitchen provisions, then at least it's not sharing a fence with people, residents, and close to schools, so close to primary schools. So I think the country needs to figure out. I've already done a video today, which put out a couple of years ago, explaining what I think is the best answer to stop this influx of 1.2 million people into our country every year that they simply can't cope with. But until we get there, we need better solutions to the problem of what do we do with people while they're here. Because putting them on this site is not the answer. The other thing I looked at, I went into the land registry, and the place did change ownership in the last few years, but the owners who have bought it appear to be property developers. They don't look as if they've got a business that runs asylum hotels. So what I think's happening here is they're trying to get this all sorted, and they may already have a buyer who may or may not have connections with the government who can, bring contracts in, and they might have sold it subject to getting the relevant paperwork sorted. I don't think they're current owners. But what I thought was odd, the building's been sold twice in its life for £2 million and then about £3.7 million previously. But they bought it for just over £500,000 around about 2020, 2022 time. And I just thought that's kind of awful cheap. And if they can get this thing granted and sell it to someone who has a contract, they'll all make a heavy killing on this. So there are a lot of people financially involved in this who can make a lot of money out of it, who will be very keen for this to get the proper allowances to open. But when Glasgow City Council have already confirmed that there's no legal reason that they cannot use it for the use intended, then it doesn't look good for the good people of Carntyne, I'm sorry to tell you. However, if you want this video to be seen by a wider audience, then you can do 3 things for me, please. None of them will take you long. None of them will cost you any money. The first one is click the thumbs up button. The second one is leave some comments. And the third one is hit the share button. All of these things help the algorithm, and that will mean YouTube will put it in front of even more people. So if you can do that for me, I'd be much obliged. And if you've not already done so, then obviously please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to the channel so you can see any future videos. YouTube do a clever thing. Down here, when the video's finishing up, they'll put a little video that they think you've not seen that might be of interest to you. So I hope it is of interest to you. But the most important thing of all, as long as you're not the type of person that thinks putting normally fighting age single men into this type of area, surrounded by residential properties and on the doorstep of 2 primary schools, then no you. But everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.